You're with me, Miriam Angel, Salim Barisa, and Emmanuel Gona. In studio, we have Charles Njenga. He is our budget champion. And of course, we want to take a look at Finance Bill 2025-2026. What does it seek to address? What are the loopholes, if any? And what should we take a keen interest in? Charles, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam.
How are you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I'm telling you. Watch out.
Last time stories za finance bill ndio hizo zilituletea issues nyingi sana.
I'm telling
but I feel like kama Kenya nafikiria issue nyingi tumekuwa tukizibeba tu, ile tunasikia finance bill. Ukisikia sauti mahali imesema reject, tunaitikia tu reject. Finance bill 2025 iko na nini haswa pale ambacho kinakuwa introduced in terms of pengine taxes na levies ndani ya hii finance bill 2025?
Thank you very much, Gona. Wacha kwanza tuanze na pale back in the day. Na nikisema hivyo, I think as they say, legends will recall ama remember. We shall, thank you. Kumbe tuko wengi. So back in the day when the budget was being presented in parliament, you remember we used to go to the shop, unaambiwa hakuna kitu inauzwa paka budget isomwe, and people were hogging goods, be it sugar, unga. So in a way, it reminds me, when we are talking about issues finance bill, it reminds me about those days. Hizo siku vile vitu zilikuwa. And it also gives me an understanding that how we used to do budgets then has a bit changed, but not really. As you gonna vile nauliza nini imebadilika, so that watu waweze kujipanga. So that thinking ya kuwa we need to kujipanga, it is good, but at the same time not very good. I usually say the budget conversation does not start at the finance bill. It started last year, August to go, when the budget circular was being shared out for citizens to now understand the entire calendar, how budget process will be taking place. So sorry now take your memory lane, but answering your question, there are several things that have shown up in the finance bill, and part of these issues, things that have shown up, ni vitu ambazo tuli reject. As you say, in a way we rejected these things. One, digital contact tax, hiyo imekuja. So content creators, TikTokers, kama mimi vile I'm trying to be a TikToker in a way. YouTubers,
you are trying like me.
Yes, YouTubers.
You can tag this too.
I tag this too. So no worries. Hao wote wanaenda kupatikana.
Hatujaingia na tayari.
Hamujaingia na tayari. Na remember back in last year we rejected and said no, because that is I would say new avenues, new frontiers of Kenyans, not even just young people, but Kenyans, to find a way to make a living. It was an industry that never existed. Alafu sasa now the government is coming in, wanataka kakitu. And I usually say, Kenyans don't have an issue of being taxed, but is there value for the tax that is being taken by the government, so that the citizens can feel, hata hiyo umechukua ni kidogo, chukua zaidi.
Break down the digital content tax.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is just one. Another one that we also rejected, as I also look at my notes and give you.
No, before you go to the other one, because when you see a lot of youths actually in this content creation space, and like you said, it's a new avenue for youths to also make money, right? It's like, okay, fine, if I can't get an 8 to 5, let me try create something for myself. So when the government is coming into this little income, that I'm trying to get, how much of it is going to be taken away? Okay.
Thank you. So let me just go through my notes and find the actual amount in terms this is just a brief. If you're in the content creators, this is what I've said. I think they are taking around 20 point something %, if I'm not wrong, in terms of taxes. And remember, I had some conversation, I think 2 or 3 weeks back, where a TikToker was saying, kando na ile pesa gava is intending to take from taxes, there is other money that we are also being taxed by the same platforms. For if you are generating now, I've never sijafika hapo kama bro. But for the people that are generating the YouTube channels and all that, before they receive that money, there are some deductions that are being done by those platforms.
Yes.
And sasa ifike kwako, alafu nao hapo nao serikali now is coming in saying also I need something from you, and you see that hakuna ile connect how
na hiyo data tayari walishakata.
Alafu ujue bado kuna, if you're using Wi-Fi, if you're using Safaricom, you're using Airtel, remember you are paying data. And the same data that you're paying pia
walishachukua
serikali iko hapo taking a bit in terms of taxes.
This 20% wataikatia wapi? Because vile tu unasema kwa mfano mimi nalipwa X, lakini kama ilikuwa nipate kwa mfano 10,000 tayari haiwezi ingia 10k. So kuna pesa ambayo inakatwa, pengine nipate 9k. So 1k ishaenda na ni tax. So hii 20 itakuwa inaingia wapi tena? Is it pale kwa withdrawals ama itakuwa ni wapi exactly?
Thank you. That's another area of deductions that what you nimesahau kusema. Kuna withdrawals, be it from the bank, be it from M-Pesa, there is that withdrawal. But apart from that, remember part of the tax amendment laws that hiyo ni kitu nilikuwa sijaongelea, but some of the tax amendments that were done is that it is now mandatory for any Kenyan that has reached 18 years and above to have a KRA pin.
Okay.
You see, so sasa when you are asking watanipata wapi, si unaanza kuona. And it's obvious now, hakuna bank sasa hiyo unaweza enda ukafungua account bila KRA pin. So that's another way they are also finding njia za kukupata. Another way that they are also trying to get you is when you are doing your returns. Naona one way or the other, if you are earning, you'll have to do a return. Sasa hapo they will also get you. So you're earning extra. How are you earning? Through the digital platforms. Kuna ile digital tax. Kama tu vile nilikuwa tunasema landlords and landladies ama property owners, walikuwa wanasema hawatapatikana. But they find a way to get data from KPLC to understand how many meters an individual owns, which ilileta issue in terms of privacy, access to privacy as best in the constitution. How is it that KPLC will give out information of an individual to another government entity? But let us not just go there, but those are some of the areas ambayo serikali inapanga kukupata in terms of the digital tax.
No, before uruke, niko na swali hapo. You see, I remember President Rais alileta kina wakurugenzi wa Meta, right? Because by then Facebook haikuwa monetized hapa nchini. So government waliingia kwenye mkataba na bla bla bla, kina Google au pia ndio wenye YouTube, hizo story. So if they say wanaweka tax, it's because walienda an extra mile, despite we creative ni yako na content ni yako na kila kitu ni yako, but for you to get money through Facebook, they made an effort. So that effort, si wali make effort ya kuzungumza na hao watu. Facebook was not monetized hapa nchini.
So wait, so
that's a fact.
So our country made an effort.
Yeah, the president.
The president made an effort.
Yes.
So to speak to Facebook so that it may be monetized.
But they had that meeting.
Okay.
And then so that we may be taxed.
So nasema it's right for them to overtax.
I'm just asking.
Okay.
Could it be?
Yes, it could, because you remember last year when kulikuwa na hiyo issue ya reject and the protest and everything. After all that, I can't remember the CS because now wanashinda wakibadilishwa kweli kama vile nabadilisha nguo. But one of the CS said that these social media platforms need to have a satellite office in Kenya. that was kulingana na mimi a way to be able to get data for, let's say, Miriam. If you have an X account, how active is it? Are you a provocating person in those spaces, and can they use the force that is the government to press on the local office of a social media platform to say, huyo block, huyu don't block, huyu hivi. You see, so those are some of the njia zilikuwa zinasemekana they want to use to, na at the same time they will also be able to track the kind of content that you produce at the same time. You remember there was a case, I think last week but one, where they were the communications authority was planning to do a shutdown of internet. I think it was last week but one. It's not a budget conversation, but in a way it fits into the budget conversation because we use those platforms to educate the masses. So you see, easy vitu one or the way kuna venye.
Okay. So another thing pengine ni kuuliza tu kuna story ya KRA yenye last time bado pia ilikuwa part and parcel ya vile vitu venye vilikuwa rejected, kwamba they are seeking kupata data ya direct ya simu kwamba waruhusiwe. Now the treasury ime sneak back that plot ya kuhakikisha kwamba KRA watapata hiyo chance ya kuingia na kujua what you make on a daily basis via your phone. How is that going
to affect? To affect directly. Kwa sababu those are some of the tax amendment laws that I was saying, that KRA wants to be not only a revenue collecting entity, but in a way it wants to behave like quote unquote FBI of the Kenyan context. Because sasa imagine to you it's just an invite.
Yes.
You've been invited to, let's say, Sarova ama Vilaroska Kempinski for a meeting. And hapo you take photos and post them on your social media platforms. Just because KRA now has those access to your phone in terms of also the photos and all that. At the same time, the transactions that you do via your M-Pesa. Nasema ile pesa unatupatiaga returns ama the zero return that you do annually does not conform with your lifestyle.
But is this for, in fact I'll ask, is this for small fish or for big fish?
A very brilliant question. Lakini kulingana na historia, as you tend to remember, and the way things are, I think you can get the answer.
Because zingine
you can get the answer. Because mimi nimeenda nimenunua kuku quarter. Na chips zile tu za hapa Mwitu.
Yes.
And then I do a good photo na kujiwa, whereas we know people are driving very 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 big European cars. Now they're not even bothered.
Like, is this a way, in fact, is this more for them to catch the big fish? Ama, because what are you looking for upper small fish?
Yes, they will say
what
yes.
What do they have?
It's all inclusive.
Yeah.
Lakini, as I've said, ukiangalia how we tend to do things as a nation, it is the middle and going down that will be really targeted. At the same time, those big fish ni kama you're not conforming to the status quo.
Okay.
You're not following the rule vile tumeweka. Ama you've become too vocal. And you could see the recent MP Salasi, I think.
Yes.
Because he has been a bit vocal in terms of certain things, there is excessive force. And then we ask, where was this force when Baringo was being attacked by cattle rustlers? You see, kuna hizo imbalance of things.
Okay, Charles, kuna hapa, some of us make withdrawals a lot. And in fact, everybody makes a withdrawal. So you're saying that for every withdrawal that one makes, there's going to be, that withdrawal will be taxed. And is this withdrawal, like where? Is this from the bank? Is this when I'm just making a transaction on my M-Pesa? What is it?
Yes, at the moment, every withdrawal that you do, be it through the bank, be it through M-Pesa, there's a deduction that is being
it's
done.
already there. So
yes, but they're still going for more. Yes, they're going for more. And not only that, because you said, let us tuongee hapo kwa digital task. But remember, kuna car owners, the same thing that we rejected last year, the motor vehicle tax.
Yes.
Back again. We rejected it.
Yeah.
But it's now back. But now they are not putting it directly to the car owner. Yes, bado itakuwa tu kwa mwenye gari, but through the insurance.
How?
So you pay insurance for your vehicle.
Yeah.
So now the motor vehicle tax will be included in the insurance.
Oh, that you're paying.
That you're paying. And will be pegged in accordance to... Remember we were talking about CCs last year?
Yeah.
So your story, the CC a vehicle, and it's ranging from 5,000 to 100,000.
Yeah.
So depending on the kind of vehicle, the kind of CC, that thing is coming back, and it's in the finance bill. Number 2, the green levy tax. We said no to it last year. Na hiyo ndio imekuja. So now it is going to affect the people who do make diapers, pads, ama sodo, mama. So we rejected that.
Yeah.
And why is it coming back again?
That's the eco levy that
Yes.
people were.
But in
Yes.
another version.
Yes, in another version. No. At the same time,
so how is it back?
through the green levy tax, now they are taxing the manufacturers who make those things.
So when they tax the manufacturer,
Automatically,
the manufacturer is going to hike the price.
Automatically.
And so I'm still paying for it indirectly.
Yes.
Wow, Kenyan government.
And then now the fourth one, I think, is the in terms of the agricultural products that farm inputs.
Yeah.
Like fertilizer. Now the inputs ndio zimewekewa taxes. So automatically the fertilizer will go up, the pesticides will go up. So farming will be a bit
tight
in terms of pricing to do our farming. Be it kununua mbegu, kupanda in general, ama kufuga. And huyo mkulima hiyo cost atapeleka wapi? That increase of cost
to the consumer. Yeah.
So generally, by the end of the day, the cost of living will go up.
Yeah.
This time round they have come in a very
in an indirect
way.
Polite way.
As in, we are not coming for you directly. Tunakujia hawa. Unaona? But the funny part is that hawa
mwisho wa siku ni wewe tu.
Yeah.
Because they sell to you, they produce to you.
I'm looking at now inaitwa income tax kwa sababu kuna wale ambao wanapata mshahara na utatusaidia hapo kama zimeongezwa huko, lakini pia mshahara wangu mimi kwa mfano ukiingia kwa bank na utoa na kwa M-Pesa tena. Sasa kama nikatwe kule kwa bank, nikitoa kwa bank ikifika kwa M-Pesa nimekatwa, bado kwa M-Pesa nao niambiwe kuna pesa nyingine inaingia pia ni tax nyingine, ama inamaanisha vipi hapo?
So for income tax, I didn't quite find anything that is popping up that much. Maybe ni vile tu imejificha, but it's something that needs for us to have real open conversation and understand. Tayari existing taxes that wewe as you're saying unatoa kwa M-Pesa. Si kuna shisha show, that one, and then kuna ile housing ambayo zetu ziko wapi? Ziko hapa around VOK.
Ziko nyingi.
Around VOK hapo. Yes, and the other one I'm told in Changamwe.
Yeah, kuna Changamwe na kuna Likoni itakuwa inakuja.
Na kuna Likoni inakuja. So yeah, alafu bado tu you see hakuna growth, alafu unajua bado they are coming to you indirect through the manufacturing. So any product that you buy, be it Naivas, the supermarkets that we exist, Carrefour, the other one, they are still there. So you unapata salary yako hai increase. Kwanza ina depreciate in terms of the deductions that you are getting. It's being done by the government, and then the cost of living has shoot. Alafu sasa the worst part is the service delivery is one thing. I don't know in terms of the percentage, but if you compare the people that live in past Likoni Channel na wale watu ambao wana live past the Nyali Bridge, getting to town is a bit hectic sai, because we appreciate kuna Dongo Kundu, but just piga tu hesabu the cost ya kupita hivi through mpaka Dongo Kundu, it's quite enormous. That's number one. Number two, the road construction, the road that goes all the way to Kilifi is under construction. So the cost of you moving from let's say the Mtwapa to town iko juu tayari kwa sababu ya the road nini. So that ile kale ka salary kako kadogo kamebaki, you still have to dip in further to just survive.
Okay, kuna kitu kimoja pia kimefanyika na hii finance bill, because this one, the finance bill is the one which is going to implement itakuwa ina fund the actual budget, right? Kuna some sheria hapo, acts hapo ndani wamezibadilisha za implementation. Wameondoa ya September, nyingi zitakuwa zinakuwa implemented 1st of July, and then kuna zenye zitakuwa January of 2026. Why have they done that? Is there any problem with that implication yenye inakuja na hizo changes zenye wamefanya? Robust ziko juu 1st of July, wameondoa hizi zinakuanga za September, wamepeleka 1st of January 2026.
Okay, see, I'm not sijapata hiyo swali vizuri, but the finance bill is just a revenue raising measure after tushatengeneza the budget policy statement. Hiyo ni just to understand next year budget yetu itakuwa vipi, who is going to take the lion's share in terms of ministries and department at a national level. At the same time, kile kiwango ambacho kitenda in all the 47 counties. And then after hapo, now we come to the program-based budget or the budget estimate, where now we allocate, tumesema pesa itenda kwa Ministry of Education, but how much will it go to school feeding program? How much will it go to bursaries? How much will it go to in terms of development of school infrastructure? And now the finance bill comes in kusema, sasa tushatengeneza hii. How are we going to collect this money? We are going to collect this money through taxation. Naona. So taxation ni vipi? Wale watu wote wameandikwa kazi, you are going to take X amount of money in terms of pay as you earn. In regards also at the same time, mshahara yako ni 40,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100, 200,000, 2 million, 350 million. It depends. Unajua kuna watu wanakula hata 500 million hii Kenya. So some unacheka, it is true bro. If you're not living, people are living. Miriam unaona na smile ashaga, who are these people?
Yeah, just tell him, by the way. He needs to understand.
Yes. So yes, another thing is as you are asking, kuna hizo amendments that they came in last year. Hizo the tax amendment laws where they, as you ulikuwa unauliza, KRA wants to get more information from this person that is called a Kenyan. Anapata mshahara yake vipi, ana hustle vipi, hata kama hajakuwa employed, but how is he or she surviving in Kenya? And is there a way of me getting something from him or her? Unajua sasa that is a wrong thinking in terms of the taxman.
Let me ask you, Charles.
Yes.
Sorry. And I want us to look at other states, other countries, right? So you said the finance bill, the purpose is to generate revenue, right? It's a revenue, a measure to generate revenue, right? Now, when we look at other countries, do they have the same system? Like for us, every year there's a finance bill, and I remember when you were here back then, you said our budget has to exceed what we had previously, right? Do they also do the same thing when it comes to generating revenue, and is it solely focused on taxation?
Yes and no. There are countries that are heavily focused. Their budgets are heavily focused on the extractive in terms of the minerals that they have.
Okay.
And that in a way supports the government in terms of running and also providing services to its citizens.
So what you're saying is we can look at the resources and the minerals that we have in Kenya to be able to generate income.
Yes, to generate money, revenue to support the government.
To supplement the budget.
Yes, to supplement the budget. But at the same time, you see, taxes will always be there.
Yes.
And even hizo, as you say, first world countries, wanakatwa ushuru. Na kuna zingine watu wanakatwa mingi sana.
Yeah.
But the mingi sana ambao wanakatwa, the issue of housing is a non-issue.
Like you want to see your tax work for you.
Yes, your story housing, it is sorted. Story public transport, it is sorted. I just top up, vile kunasemanga kwa M-Pesa, I just top up somewhere, I get my monthly or weekly fare. And it is well organized that from, let's say, Mtwapa to town, it's, if it is 70, if it's 100 shilling, it's 100 shilling. Hakuna cha kusema ati kumenyesha ni 120 ama ni rush. No.
You know, it's only in Mombasa. I was so shocked, by the way. It's only in Mombasa. No. Like, it's only in Mombasa that I realized that fare could go beyond 100 shillings.
Yes, unaona. So
but at
120.
Yes, at 120 is cheaper. I have a friend who stays in Shanzu, and at times he say analipaga 150 ufika Shanzu, because they say Shanzu na Mtwapa is just a stone throw away. So if kama vile leo asubuhi kume drop hivi mvua na he was coming to town, lazima amelipa premium fare. And you see the premium fare does not resonate with the service. So going back to what you are saying, there are countries where it is the responsibility of the government to make sure that you have a job. If you don't have a job, then the government is supposed to take care of you and pay you salary until you get a job. Sasa uniambie hiyo ni nchi tamu namna gani? But you see, when you start getting employed, ukiingia tu kazi hivi, the taxes that you will pay is on the higher end. But who would not want to live in such a country?
Nchi gani?
Unataka kuhama.
Germany, bro.
Because you're taken care of, and I think you've said it. Kenyans don't have an issue with taxes. We have an issue when our taxes don't work for us.
Yes.
But then also, do you think our government would ever be satisfied with the amount of taxes they collect?
Okay, this is a bit part of the conversation, but let me just say it. So the overall budget for the incoming year is around 4.239 trillion. We have a debt of around 11 trillion. So me nataka tu na I know there are conversation of hii pesa iko wapi, this debt, hii deni si yetu. Tuweke tu hiyo kando. But you see the disparity. You see the disparity. And at the same time, the money that has been allocated for development is around 1.something trillion, if I'm not wrong. Out of that, the other money goes to pay debt in terms of interest, not even the primary debt. Another part is going to executive, parliament. You see, so it tells you tayari kuna imbalance in terms of how we tend to do our budgets. I had some time back a social media budget civic educator saying there are money that the office of the president gets annually in terms of entertainment equates is equal to the total money that USAID was being funding Kenya for the year.
Oh, really? Now?
Yeah.
So we have the money.
So we have the money. According to that, we have the money.
Yeah.
It is where do we intend to put that money?
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
So as it stands at the moment, our MPs are the highly paid MPs. Worldwide. Are we getting their value?
No.
That was so fast.
Are we getting the value for money for them as our representatives?
Nilikuwa na expect mimi nitachelewa kidogo kujibu, lakini siku expect aende hivyo ina flash.
It's the look they both gave me.
So you see,
Yeah.
tukianza kuongelea mambo ya bajeti, it is interesting because you get to understand different things and also try to relate, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Hizi nchi zingine, what are they doing that we are not doing? Unaona? And yes.
I get you. You see, there's this, I don't know if it's in the Bible that they say, is it the Bible or it's a quote, that to him who much is given, much is expected.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So if, even with our leaders, if you're going to be paid more, then by all means ensure there is value to your people, the team that you represent. But that's not the case.
Yes.
That's not the case.
It is not because you see they need to really internalize the budget, because sasa what we do hata sahi, what we are doing here is what they ought to have been doing, because it is civic education in another way, and in another way it's also trying to understand what is the finance bill all about.
So then, Charles, when we question and we ask, when we say, okay, fine, you're going to tax, right? And you're seeing your pay slip, and it's like there's some level of reduction. You know, it's growing slimmer and slimmer. You know, in fact, it's very unfortunate for you if you're earning more in Kenya, because if you look at your pay slip,
watch it.
Yes, you know. So how do we ensure that these conversations that we are having, it just doesn't end at us having these conversations, but then start changing how things are done in our country? Because even next year we can sit down and still talk about finance bill.
Yes.
2026, yes. 2020. Oh, they've raised. Oh, we're paying these taxes. But to what end? To what end? So
it's a very brilliant question. So one thing I think we are doing and we need to do more is the conversations. And because we are reaching the masses and we are making people try to understand the essence of them being really involved in the conversation.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, the need to write to your MP, kumuuliza tu, by the way, this and this and this and this has happened.
Yeah.
Where is your voice? Sauti yako iko wapi ndugu yangu? Unaona? Wewe, you are our representative. Where is your voice?
Yeah.
And I love what we were able to do last year.
Yeah.
Because after us going to parliament, we came back and also faced each and every MP that we elected. Where was your voice? How do you say yes to this? No. So now, because kuna hiyo karata imefanywa kwa finance bill, so that people don't really get agitated as such like last year, but we need to hear their voices. And the public participation that took place in Kwale, even though it was not the finance bill, it was purely about the budget estimates, we were telling them, because 90% of them were representatives from the coastal region.
Yeah.
And we were telling them, where was your voice? Where is your voice when this thing was being drafted? because when you come here, some of them walikuwa na complain, ile pesa inakuja, for example, Kwale County was in terms of development was getting around 0 point something % in terms of the development for the incoming year. And the MP, one of the MPs from Kwale was complaining. But when you complain to us, unataka si tufanye
ni walunga
like you're supposed to be doing it,
you're supposed to be doing huko. Your chair also comes from the same region. Could you just ile mfanye caucus, regional MPs, and say bana, if we are not getting X amount of percentage, unaona, for the incoming budget, we as MPs from Coast Region are not going to pass this bill. You see, that's number one. Number two, ilikuwa why are we taxing more to Kenyans? Because I asked them, if the issue is we don't have money, and they had come with those big cars. See, the boys in blue are using the Land Cruisers, zile za kawaida. Unaonaje mtumie hizo? Alafu hizi we sell, the money that we'll get, we do something in our budget. You see, because if say you get a salary cut because things are not good, if you are living in a high end estate,
utapata hata karama,
you're going to downgrade.
So you see, hizo vitu, they don't do that. They live large.
Na kupigia kelele hapa.
Sasa hiyo sijui ni wabunge ama ni Ukenya.
So where do they think we're getting money? Like where do they think we're getting money from?
That is
from shouting.
According to them, that is not their issue. That is the issue of the executive. Naona.
Akwena fuel gas la hapa 3000 cc.
According to them, because you see, vile mtu anaji express, you can tell huyu mtu hana interest kabisa na hiki kitu.
All right, thank you so much. We've been speaking to Charles Njenga. He's a budget champion, and of course we've been looking at Finance Bill 2025 2026. We do have a lot lined up. I know we've left a lot yenye tujaongelea. We can actually talk about it next week when you create time. Charles, we welcome you again. From us to you, tumesema bye. Let's catch up again tomorrow. Good morning.